The moment her words left her lips, the world around me seemed to freeze. The ocean breeze quieted, the laughter of tourists vanished, and even the waves rolling against the California shore felt like they paused to hear my answer. My boss, Victoria Hale, stood barefoot in the sand beneath a sky that looked moments away from breaking into a storm, her golden hair pulled back, her breath steady, her confidence absolute. She thought she understood me, thought I was just another desperate 24-year-old assistant chasing validation. But she didn't know the truth. She didn't know the weight I carried, the nights I'd spent drowning in expectations I could never meet, or the fire that was born inside me the first time someone dared to underestimate my worth. So when she smiled and offered me one night as if that was all I could ever want, I looked at her with a calm I didn't even know I had and told her quietly, I want more. If you believe in stories of kindness, redemption, and second chances, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps more people find these emotional stories. Victoria had always been the type of woman who walked into a room and changed its temperature. Everyone at Hale Technologies whispered about her discipline, her impossible standards, her refusal to let anyone close enough to hurt her. She lived in a world of control, polished boardrooms, precision meetings, and strict boundaries no one ever crossed. I learned early on that she wasn't cruel, just broken in places she didn't allow anyone to see. And for reasons I didn't understand at first, she treated me differently from the others. Less like an assistant, more like someone she was trying desperately not to trust. The company retreat in Malibu was supposed to be routine. Team building, leadership seminars, the usual corporate performances. But on the second morning, when most employees were sleeping off the previous night's celebrations, I found her jogging along the empty shoreline, her face softer than I'd ever seen it inside the office. She slowed when she saw me, almost as if she'd been hoping I'd show up. There was something fragile in her that morning, something unguarded. She asked if I could walk with her, and for once, the world didn't feel like it was demanding anything from either of us. We talked about nothing and everything. Work, life, the pressure of pretending to be okay. She confessed that she used to swim competitively in college, but stopped after her father died. I admitted I used to swim to escape my own home, where nothing I ever did was enough for the people waiting there with critical eyes. And maybe it was that shared understanding of invisible battles that made her say what she said next. If you beat me in a swim right now, she said lightly, I'll give you what most men in the company only dream about. One night. Your rules. She expected me to laugh. She expected me to treat it like a joke. But something in her eyes told me she meant it, and something in my heart told me she wasn't offering desire. She was offering trust. And trust from a woman like Victoria Hale was worth far more than one night. That's why I whispered, I want more. Her expression changed instantly, not offended, not embarrassed, but shaken. As if no one had ever dared to want anything beyond the surface she showed the world. The ocean water was colder than I expected, biting against my skin as we waded in. She moved with power and precision, her strokes sharp, her rhythm flawless. But I wasn't inexperienced. I'd spent years training myself to survive, physically, emotionally, mentally. And sometimes, the ocean had been the only place I could breathe. We raced out to the buoy and back. The sky darkened above us, thunder rumbling like a distant warning. Halfway through the return, she began to tire. I could see it in her movements, still strong but not invincible. For a moment, she hesitated and her breath hitched. Her father used to push her in the water, she once said. Push her until she felt like she was drowning. Grief was a current she still hadn't escaped. I slowed, just enough so she could keep pace without losing herself in old fears. She noticed. Of course she noticed. And maybe that was the moment everything shifted. Not when I crossed the finish first, not when she admitted quietly, you won. But when she realized I wasn't trying to defeat her. I was trying to understand her. Back on the shore, she looked at me with something raw in her eyes, something that didn't belong in boardrooms or billion-dollar negotiations. She whispered that she didn't expect me to win. I whispered that I didn't expect her to offer something so small when she had so much more inside her to give. We walked the beach until the sky broke open and rain soaked the sand around us. She told me that ever since becoming CEO, everyone wanted something from her: power, proximity, her name. No one wanted her. No one ever said they wanted more than a night. She said my words scared her because they were real. In that rainstorm, she confessed the truth she tried to bury under ambition and routines. She was lonely, exhausted by being the strong one, the untouchable one. She said she didn't know how to let someone in without losing herself. But I wasn't asking her to lose anything. I was asking her to stop running. The ocean had calmed by the time the rain faded. We stood there quietly, two people who had spent years pretending to be stronger than they felt. She reached for my hand, not bold, not possessive, but trembling. And in that trembling, I felt everything she'd fought so long to hide. She told me she couldn't promise perfection, couldn't promise she wouldn't run when things got heavy. But she said she could promise honesty and a chance, a real one, to try something more than temporary, something built on truth instead of power or fear. I had beaten her in the water, but the real victory was watching her surrender the armor she'd carried for years. That night, she didn't reward me with what she had offered. She rewarded me with something far more rare. She sat beside me on the balcony overlooking the ocean, wrapped in a blanket, her hair still damp. She told me stories from her childhood, her dreams, her regrets. She let me see the woman beneath the legend. And sometime between midnight and dawn, she rested her head on my shoulder and whispered that she hadn't felt safe with anyone in a very long time. And for the first time in years, I felt seen. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps more people discover these emotional journeys. Before the ending, I want to ask something special. Comment below what wanting more means to you in life. In the morning, the sun rose over the horizon, turning the ocean gold. She woke up beside me, not startled, not regretful, but peaceful. She smiled softly, and I knew the truth. Beating her in the swim didn't matter. What mattered was that she finally let herself believe she was worth more than a single night. And so was I. And as she laced her fingers through mine, the world felt lighter, as if the ocean itself had given us both permission to begin again.